Okay, guys. Ed asked some very good questions to start off class, and we've been working to address them. It's a very common problem that a lot of people have. How do you get over the urge to block or to push or to control, whether in contact flow or if he's actually attacking me, that sort of thing? Because it's very important, right? Like we talk about all the time, how in contact flow you don't want to be pushing or controlling or blocking or anything like that. So I'm going to try to answer this in kind of a little bit deeper way, what I think the source of this is. Most of us, by default, when we come in here to greater or lesser degrees, we have this idea within our subconscious, here I am. This is me. This is the space that I take up. This is what I have to defend, right? Like the idea of self-defense or self-protection, right? And so that idea expresses itself, even if we're talking about, oh, be loose, be whatever, that idea still expresses itself in the idea that if this is coming towards me, I need to not let it get into my space, right? Or I need to not let him, get into my space or move me. And that can be very deep rooted, and like sometimes maybe you could be okay like going relatively slowly, but when it gets a little more threatening and he starts like really throwing stuff, all of a sudden I'm trying to like block stuff and push stuff away, right? Because I have this kind of this notion within my subconscious. What you want to train and maybe meditate to achieve is this idea that that's actually false. There is no self to defend, right? John would talk about, have no ego in training, right? And that, at a basic level, that's just like when you're moving, don't have your ego caught up in, oh, how many times can I hit you? And like, oh, if he hits me, God damn it. Now, not just at that level, but even at the level of getting rid of your sense of yourself or your own space to be protected. Because the simple fact is, whereas if I think that I'm occupying this space and whatever he does I need to like keep away or push away or prevent, what if instead whatever he does I just acknowledge that he can go right there? Whatever he does, that's fine, he can go there. Why is it a problem? Because I am always free to change even the slightest amount. Anything he's doing, I make the slightest change, I'm not there for it anymore. Okay? It doesn't matter how strong, fast he's going. If I'm just even slightly not where he thought I was, then I'm fine. Okay? And that if I can get that through my thick skull, like deep into my subconscious and how I do everything, it now becomes a lot easier, because why do I need to control him? Why do I need to block anything? Why do I need to push anything away? The simple fact is, anything he does, I know where he's trying to do it to, where he thinks I am. If I change that, even by the slightest amount, I'll be okay, right? And again, even if there's no contact yet, anything he does, if I change where I am, even by the slightest amount, it's fine. And there's no reason for me to be worried about what's coming, right? One way to think about it, and this is very psychological. When people are untrained in this type of thing, they see this big fist coming at them and they're like, oh my god, their entire world becomes this, and it feels like they have nowhere to go, and they need to keep this away, right? A lot of the time, like when you see untrained people just get surprised, like it's often something like this. They're just like trying to push something away while moving away from it, right? Not very conducive to doing anything useful. But if you realize, and again, not just consciously, but on a deep level, that in order for this to do me damage, there's a very tiny point in time and space where that needs to happen, right? Where this is coming and I'm going right into it, or I'm right here to meet it, right? And it gets lots of leverage and penetration. If I move even a little, right, go ahead. If I move just the slightest bit, even if it's just slightly backwards, he might still touch me, but it's not going to do much damage, right? Or if I just move the slightest shift of weight, not even, I could be on one foot, and the slightest, shift of anything, right? Anything else, right? And it's fine. So you realize, for example, like out of 360 degrees of motion, there's really only 1 degree, or really even a fraction of a degree, that's bad for me. which really should, for your mind, open things up, because it's not a matter of figuring out, oh, what do I do if he does this? Oh, I need to do the right thing. There's, again, just use a random number, 359 right things to do and only one wrong thing. The only wrong thing would be to stay right here or to contest with this directly, okay? Unfortunately, that's exactly what most people kind of by default do until they're better trained, right? But anything he does, literally anywhere else I go, anything else I do, anything else, whatever, any direct, I just need to not be right here. Just, even just a little sink or whatever. Again, doesn't matter if he touches me. It's just, it is what it is, right? So how do we deal with this? How do we get this through our head? In our contact flow, this is why John was very big on, again, no ego. Instead of thinking he's coming towards me, I need to keep him away, right? No, there is no me. There is no my own body. There is nothing to defend or prevent. Everything, I just need to be able to change very slightly at all times. And, so in my mind, when I'm doing this nice, slow, meditative contact flow, I try to the best of my ability. There is no me, there is no myself, there is no time, okay? There's only the moment. I don't have to worry about, oh, what's he gonna do next, because it doesn't exist. There's just what is happening at this moment, and how can I just stay comfortable? I don't need to be in the right place. I just need to not be in the one wrong place at any particular moment. And even if I find myself in the one wrong place, okay, well, we're going slow enough, I can figure out how to move with that, okay? And again, not figure out consciously, but just allow my body to continue to not be. Allow my body to not be present, to not be conscious of itself. So that's one thing. It's kind of the idea, similar to the idea of when hitting, right? Relax. Most conventional training methods consider kind of the body to be the launch pad and the fists or the arms or the legs to be the rockets that are being shot out from the body, right? The body might give them a little boost, but you're basically shooting it out. Whereas in guided chaos, we consider the entire skeleton to be, the rocket, even for very close, right? Instead of pushing this away to hit him, right? Boom, my entire skeleton is dropping in as one, right? So similar to that, it's not a matter of my body is here, stationary, this is the space I occupy, and then I need to keep stuff away from it. No, my entire skeleton is free to go wherever it's gonna go. And again, at any particular moment, there's only maybe one wrong place to be. And as long as I just allow myself the freedom to not be right there, I'll be fine. There's nothing else to worry about. Now, how well you can do this depends on how well you've made the principles habitual, right? Because, for example, if Yoel's pushing on my shoulder and I just not be there by just moving my shoulder, well, look what position this left me in. Did this observe body unity? Hells no. I mean, yeah, I was loose, right? I let it go, but now I'm off balance. I'm not united. Everything's out of alignment. Not so good. But the same thing can happen, and I can do this, right? Basically, body unity is achieved by, instead of just trying to move my shoulder out of the way and getting all out of whack, right? I absorb the motion with my entire body, right? And we've talked about this before, right? Instead of absorbing all this pressure with just my elbow, for example, which only gets me to here, and then he continues and blah, right? Instead, I distribute that motion. Maybe the elbow absorbs a little, but then the elbow, shoulder, everything, down to the legs, especially the legs. It's usually the legs that people forget about, right? But even if my legs aren't gonna move much, still, whatever he does, push, 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 right? I'm just using my entire body. So now I'm still in a balanced, body unitized, aligned position, which allows me to do whatever else. And now, if I can, just flow with me, if I can think of not think of my body like this, right, just not being there, I'm just observing him very impartially, unemotionally, not caring, no worries about the future. What I can now detect pretty easily is any intention from him, right? You don't need to fake it, it's always there, right? Okay, so basically any intention for him, I can easily take advantage of. Now again, if I'm moving within the principles. If I don't have the principles, especially the body unity, move with me. Notice if I'm just kind of moving from the arms and the shoulders, I'll eventually be in a messed up place. But as long as I'm moving within the principles, moving my own body, no matter where I go, I'm always ready to change again, right? I can change whatever I need to, whatever comes next. And part of this training in the right spirit, really getting into that in the moment, meditative, no ego, no you whatsoever state, is that you're training your subconscious to have faith that you can always change, right? And if you have built the habits of moving within the principles, you can always change, right? That's by definition. If my body is relatively aligned as opposed to all like twisted up, if I'm relatively on balance as opposed to like teetering on the edge of my balance, right? If I'm relatively loose as opposed to locked in a position where if you do anything now, I'm not free to move, you know? And if I'm like open to my sensitivity as opposed to second guessing it. If I'm feeling you here, but since my conscious mind says I really want to hit him, now I'm ignoring my sensitivity, right? My sensitivity can only function if I allow my body to actually listen to it, right? And just go from there. Not be impatient, not have any real desired outcome, just constantly changing with anything. And again, the changes can be tiny. This is coming here. It might scare me. If I'm really focused on it, I can be like, "Arr!" and I end up just trying to stop it or something like that. The simple fact is, right, even if it's like already here, if I change just a little, how much can that hurt me, right? It might not be comfortable, right? Or if it's here, I just change a little bit. Or if it's here, I might get some fingers, but that's definitely not the same as that. No. Excuse me. Okay, so you get the idea. Or make it even more obvious. He's gonna punch me. Go ahead. Here, punch, boom, punch, 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 punch. Even I let him hit me a little. Punch, punch. I mean, this isn't fun to do all day, but as long as I'm moving with it, I'll be okay. Okay? Make a fist. The only bad place for me to be would have been either moving directly into it or just like staying right where it's going. Kind of the same thing, right? But if like, go ahead, punch. If I just move the slightest bit, I'm trying to move less so it still hits, right? But if you notice, you know, again, obviously this isn't the hardest punch in the world, but, you know, because you're you. No, just kidding. Right? But still, as long as you're not right in the wrong place, you'll be okay. Now what this means, develop my sensitivity, just be able to forget about myself, forget about time, worry, whatever, and just perceive what's going on. My sensitivity, able to just be where I need to be. As long as I'm not here, it doesn't matter where I go. Nothing to worry about, I just go. Now, obviously, it's all relative, right? If I'm going somewhere, but he's also feeling all this and ends up in an even better spot with more of the principles in order, relax a little more, right? And continue, just be one with the whole body. There you go. Okay? Again, it can, but again, the tiniest stuff. Have faith that, again, even if this is here, the tiniest change in my body, everything is okay. Nothing to worry about. So, yeah, in brief, in order to get over this urge to push and whatnot, you gotta train contact flow and the exercises in this right mindset. Practice no self, right? No consciousness of self to the best that you can. If you think you're not doing it, fake it, right? Trick yourself, right? Practice. Oh, another thing in terms of vision. Anytime I look directly at like the hands, I'm focusing in and partializing my conscious attention to what's right there. So if you notice, just move with me a little, Yoel. I generally sometimes in contact flow, you close your eyes so that you can go totally based on feel, and that's a good exercise to do sometimes. But most of the time you want your eyes open, but not focused in on what's going on here. Because if you notice the difference in how my body's moving now, I'm really just focused on this, and my body unity basically gets done with, right? Also notice how my head tends to go towards where stuff's happening, and that's not always healthy. What I want to do is keep my vision up and diffuse and outwards for several reasons. A, I want to have the habit that if I'm actually being attacked, that I'm aware of what else is going on, right? If Yoel's coming after me, well, now I can feel him. Now I want to see where his buddies are, right? So I want to get rid of the idea of this tunnel vision, right? Because A, we already know that if I tunnel vision on this, I'll probably run right into it, right? It'll take away my ability to move, right? But also, I don't want to be looking just at him when some guy comes up behind me, right? So you want to create that good habit, getting rid of tunnel vision. But also for your own training, your peripheral vision kind of happens to the sides and down, right? Doesn't happen as much upwards, right? Our eyebrows are, for most of us, a little further out, right? So if we're looking down at all, we're kind of cutting off a lot of our peripheral vision. What we want to do during contact flow is use our peripheral vision to learn to associate all these feelings on a subconscious level with what they look like, right? Because even though the most damage is generally done in hand-to-hand combat once you're in contact, and that's, you know, what we use, most of it starts without contact, right? As long as you're minimally aware. So I don't, you know, if he's attacking me, I don't want to be like, okay, now I can feel him, now I can move. No, I want to be able to just basically use my contact flow training to just feel by sight, not guessing, not being like, okay, where's he going to go, which foot's in, oh, now he's doing that. No, not that at all. On the same subconscious level that we use our tactile sensitivity, we want to train to have that same subconscious visual awareness to do whatever we have to do in the moment based on sight as well. Best way to do that is to, again, always looking up and kind of beyond your training partner. Okay, you don't need to like look away from them, right? But I want to absorb my training partner in my peripheral vision. That goes straight to the subconscious, whether you're aware of it or not. And that's how you can learn good stuff. Okay, but again, at a core level, developing the principles, right? You know, for example, if this is a common thing during contact flow, I might end up kind of with my shoulders and lower body misaligned. Okay, that's just, you know, I was not moving with body unity. What I should be doing, slowly, obviously, whatever speed it is, you know, moving my whole body together. And, you know, maybe I do more of the puppeteering drill, right? Having the sticks between the feet and the legs, just between the feet and the elbows, so that I'm always moving like this. Obviously, this is very gross, obvious body unity. It won't always be that one-to-one, but you want to build those habits of moving the whole body together, of just so that at every given moment, you have all your principles in order and without intention, right? Again, anytime I give any intention here, that's all UL needs to just take advantage, because whenever I have conscious intention, then my body is moving that way, whether it's in sync with everything or not, okay? Whereas there is no me, there is no time, there's just movement, and hopefully your movement has a lot of good habits based in the principles. Make sense?